रिया के काले जादू के सामने फेल सुशांत.
India Today has accessed Riya Chakravarti's version of what happened.
Try to contact him or his family in this period. Did it not worry to you that you had not spoken to him for 10 months?
एक पक्ष है जो मानने को तैयार ही नहीं कि सुशांत सिंह राजपूत खुदकुशी कर सकते हैं.
According to data by the World Health Organization, every 40 seconds, one person dies by suicide globally, and a large number of these suicides occur in India. There are two aspects to this larger issue that needs to be looked closely. One is, of course, the cause of the incident and issues pertaining to it, focusing on the mental health aspect rather than dismissing it. The other, and probably crucial aspect, is the media's reportage of suicide. News stories reporting cases of suicide are a common occurrence, and hence WHO lists responsible media reporting as one of the key suicide prevention strategies. We all got a glimpse of the flip side in the form of a media trial when it came to the death of Bollywood actor Sushant Singh Rajput in 2020. A sensitive reporting of suicide is extremely crucial for understanding the seriousness of the issue. But how do we do that? What are the tools and resources at hand? In this FII Reports video, we take a look. Usage and the role of language. What has been evident over the years across both print and broadcast media is the way media aggressively uses problematic and derogatory language to talk about not just the person who died, but also those associated with them. The full-fledged media witch hunt of actor Riya Chakravarti after the death of Sushant Singh Rajput is a testimony to the disturbing low language that Indian mainstream media stooped down.
रिया यहाँ पर भी विक्टिम कार्ड खेल रही है, एक सिंपैथी लेने की कोशिश कर रही है.
The World Health Organization, in association with International Association for Suicide Prevention, provided certain guidelines for media professionals to adhere to while reporting on suicide. In 2019, the Press Council of India also released guidelines to be followed by media houses in reporting news related to suicide. The first and the most important among those was to avoid language that sensationalizes or glorifies suicide. The most common violation of that is being descriptive and revealing the tools and method used in the process of suicide. Furthermore, in an attempt to garner views and hits, clickbait headline sensationalizing suicide is often used. Media houses need to refrain from using phrases like committed suicide, killed themselves, and instead use phrases like died by suicide. The word committed implies crime and blame. Refrain from sharing photos, videos, or too many details. The next most important thing when it comes to reporting suicide is the choice of visuals. Presentation of visuals of the deceased person and the suicide scene is a big no. Furthermore, having trigger warnings is a must when reporting on suicide. Exposure to gory and uncensored visuals can often trigger suicidal behavior in vulnerable people dealing with various mental health issues. Using photographs of the deceased person and the scene of suicide is disrespectful. The reporting of an incident of suicide must also be mindful and respectful of the privacy of the deceased person's family. Need to avoid sensationalism and assumptions. Another very important thing to remember while reporting on suicide is to avoid constructing narratives based on assumptions. Media channels often tend to ignore the facts and instead present the population with speculations and questions. This is even compounded in the case of celebrity deaths. Media houses tend to sensationalize suicide to gain TRP. Speculation about the reason or cause of the suicide negates that contributing factors for the same are complex and vary from person to person. What these assumption-based narratives also does is further stigmatize mental health and those dealing with it. Provide helpline and support information. Amongst various other things that reporters, news channels and journalists need to keep in mind while reporting on suicide, a very important point is to make sure to provide information about where to seek help and support. Having reminders running on the screen of support networks and helplines can go a long way in helping distressed individuals. Suicide is not a one-off incident. There is a complex series of biological, psychological, social, cultural, financial, and other issues that are behind it. Hence, there is a serious need for news media houses in India to reevaluate their suicide reporting standards. The media needs to highlight the risk factor while reporting on suicide rather than denying it. The race for TRPs must not overtake human and sensitive reporting.